Thank you. It's October 18th, 2022, and this is the last regular and council planning meeting of East St. Paul Council for 2022. And it is 5:30 and I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have an agenda in front of us. Were there any edits to that agenda? Hearing none, can I get a mover and seconder, please? By Postuma, seconded by Rechko. All in favor? And that's carried. Next item is the adoption of, confirmation of the minutes of the September 27 council meeting. Were there any edits to those? Hearing none, could I get a mover and seconder? Duval and Devlin, all in favor? That's carried. We had two public hearings this evening. The first one is a variation order for 3528 Henderson Highway. And public hearings have a bit of their own format, and I'm going to get our acting CAO to walk us through the procedures for public hearings, please.
Thank you. Council wishes to thank you for taking an interest in what is happening in your municipality by attending this evening. The purpose of these public hearings is to receive representations from the applicant and any persons who wish to make them concerning what is proposed. We will hear first from the applicant, then from those present who wish to make representations, starting with anyone who wants to speak in favor of the proposal, followed by those who are opposed or to object to the proposal. At the end of these other presentations, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond. If anyone intends to make a presentation for any of the public hearings scheduled for this evening, please record your name and contact information on the appropriate sign-in sheet located at the desk as you enter council chambers. Applicants must also sign in. If you haven't signed in, please do so now so you have an opportunity to speak to council. At the end of each presentation, the members of council may ask for clarification from the speaker on any fact or issue, but will not enter into a debate. Persons speaking must address the chair. If they have questions that they think the applicant should answer, they should raise them in their presentation to the chair. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to questions when the other presentations are finished. If the public hearing is not completed today, whether because we run out of time or further information is to be provided, then we will adjourn the hearing. If we adjourn, we will tell you at this hearing the date of the continued public hearing. There will be no other notice given of the date. Even if all the representations are completed today, we may not be making our decision. Until our decision is made, there can be no further communication of any kind with council or the members about the proposal. When council makes its decision, all persons who made a representation at the hearing will be notified. Tonight, we will be hearing conditional uses. When council makes its decision on the application, it is final. There is no appeal.
Thank you. Just
it's variation.
two variations. Yeah.
Okay, let me recheck.
You're just checking to see if anybody.
And well, the same applies for conditional use and variation.
Yes, thank you.
Once council makes its decision on the application, it is final.
Thank you, Suzanne. All right, with that information presented, could I get please the resolution to open the public hearing for the first item?
Be resolved that council open the public hearing of council for variation order 99 2022 for 3528 Henderson Avenue.
Thank you. Moved by Postuma, seconded by Horechko. All in favor? And that's carried. The public hearing is open. I will now turn the floor over to Red River Planning, who's going to walk us through this presentation. And this evening we have with us Mr. Santan Singh from Red River Planning. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, council. This is variance application BO 99/2022. The subject property is located at 3528 Henderson Highway. The applicant wishes to allow for a reduced front yard in the rural residential zone. This is the variance request table. The applicant wishes to reduce the front yard from the required 40 feet to proposed 25.85 feet. This is the location map identifying the subject property and illustrating the surrounding area. The area in the orange has been marked for council's consideration. That's the building layout, not to scale. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. The reduced front setback has been marked on this site plan for council's consideration. The property also abuts Red River and the distance is about 104 feet from the river. The applicant is proposing to construct a single family dwelling on an existing foundation as the previous dwelling was destroyed by the fire. The proposal is generally consistent with the development plan policies and we did not receive any objections during the circulation. The Department of Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure has requested a permit. If the council wishes to approve this application, Red River Planning recommends two conditions. Number one, this variance is limited to reduced front yard as presented in this application. Any changes in use, addition, and or replacement may require new variance approval. Number two, the applicant owner obtains all the required permits from Red River Planning District, the municipality, and the highways. Thank you. If the council has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Councilor Devil?
I think we recently saw an application such as saying there was a garage that had been compromised through an insurance claim. And so this was a home, it was burned and the foundation is staying because it's structurally sound. My question is, why is it that they're having to sustain a public hearing? This is an existing foundation, existing home essentially. They're just having to build on it. Being subjected to a public hearing at this point, there's the risk of them not getting this variance, which their foundation is in the ground. So I struggle to understand why we're having a public hearing for something that should be grandfathered, or it's already existing, it's already in the ground. How do you change it at this point?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. There is a section in the bylaw that talks about this. If the building is over 80% damage, then it has to adhere to the bylaw that is active at this current date.
Thank you.
Councilor Deville?
Is the foundation valued at least 20% of the overall cost of the structure? I would suspect it might be when it's compared to bare ground. But I have the same question as Councilor Devlin. Why does this have to come here? I wonder. It's like a major repair job of this thing. So I'm not asking a question, I'm just making a comment.
Councilor Horowitz?
Technically, you consider this like a new build. And that's why it has to come in front of us.
Yes, but mostly there's the section in the bylaw talks about that if the damage is more than 80%, the new requirements have to apply.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the previous garages in my ward in the same thing, there was 80% damage. And what happened was the garage was oversized, so it didn't apply to the size allowed. So a variance came. But to me, if the basement's there, I can understand a building permit because you're going to put a new building up and you want to test the structure of the concrete and the basement. But if it's going right back in the same place, like the cost of a variance, it's a fair amount of money. I don't understand why that. And maybe that's something we should look into the future.
Yeah, thank you. All right, with those questions posed to the planner, I will go to our sheet of those who have signed in for this one. I'm going to ask Michelle to just come forward, please. I don't know who did that. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry.
LNG. Okay. All right, could I ask please who is the applicant in this case? Hi, sir, come on forward and let me know who you are. Right to the microphone there.
Come behind you.
Here, sorry.
Charles, were you at that mic before?
Well, not the first time that's happened to me.
Your name, sir?
My name is David Gerby.
Okay, thanks, Dave. So this is your opportunity to provide council with any comments on your variation application.
Sure. You know, Manitoba being a very small province, sometimes I'm amazed that I'm here. I work as operations manager for Kingsley Wallace, the applicant. In a former position about 3 years ago, I worked with a construction company that actually quoted to the insurance company to repair this house. So the questions that were asked were very salient. The house was very repairable. Unfortunately, from what I understand, but don't have firsthand knowledge, just secondhand knowledge, it was a very contested insurance claim that went through adjudication. I just quoted on house, so I don't know too much about that. My employer now, Kingsley Wallace, purchased the property. Kingsley Wallace is very active in and around Winnipeg in the house renovation business, and thought that this would be a candidate. They do very major renovations on houses, gut and up. But one of the things we pride ourselves on is giving the end customer a really good quality product. And after a really thorough review, while there were possibilities to rehabilitate the house with engineer seals and use existing structure and some of the trusses and some of the joists and etc. It was just decided this isn't going to give somebody a really quality house that's going to last. So we decided after testing the foundation, which was as you have in your report, sound, we will just tear the structure down and apply for a building permit. And we were quite surprised that we needed to go through this process. But of course, when in Rome, do as the Romans do and ask you to do. So we're here. We're very pleased that all the parties, the reviewing parties, had no objection with putting this up. I think it's consistent with surrounding the two neighboring houses. I don't think they're quite 40 feet as well, due to the width of the river lot at that point. And we just plan on doing what we need to do in conjunction with permits and the plans that I think have already been submitted. And we hope to provide a quality home to somebody who wants to live in this municipality.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Mr. Gerby? All right, that's good.
Thank you.
Also signed in, we have Mr. James Dimitri. Did you wish to speak to this?
No, I'm the owner of Kingsley Wallace.
Okay, and you're in support of that, obviously. We have two people signed in for information only, P. Kupchak and Jay McDonald. Do either one of you want to speak to this?
Thank you for allowing me to speak. No, the microphone's off.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? All right. Thank you for allowing me to speak. We were here for more information because we weren't quite clear the way it was described in the notice as to what exactly was being asked. And so we have that information now. And I'm very pleased that something is actually going to be done with that house. It was a beautiful house before, and we knew the neighbor that lived there, and we'd like to meet our new neighbors. And thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to stay for information or did you want to move yourself to support?
Support.
Okay. And are you Kupchak or McDonald? Thank you. Mr. McDonald, did you wish to speak?
Nope, support.
Okay, did you want to stay as for information or move to support?
Move to support.
Okay. All right, nobody else here to speak to this application? All right, hearing nothing else. Council, any other questions before I close the public hearing? Okay, go ahead, please, Suzanne.
Be resolved that council close the public hearing of council for variation order 99, 2022 for 3528 Henderson.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Duval and Devlin, all in favor? And that's carried. And for the resolution, please.
Be resolved that variation order 99-2022, 3528 Henderson Highway be approved subject to the following conditions. This variance is limited to front yard variance as proposed in this application. Any changes in use, additions, and or replacement may require a new variation approval. And two, applicant owner obtains required permits from the Red River Planning District, the municipality, and highways.
Thank you. Moved by Horechko, seconded by Postumus. Any discussion? Call for the question. All in favor? And that's carried. It's approved. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute recess. All right, our next public hearing is also a variation, and this is for 212 Mariners Way. I'll get Suzanne, please, to read the resolution to open the public hearing.
Be resolved that council open the public hearing of council for variation order 108-2022 for 212 Mariners Way.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Duval and Horechko, all in favor? And that's carried. I will now turn the floor over to Mr. Singh from Red River Planning to walk us through this application.
Thank you, ma'am. This is variance application VO 108-2022. The subject property is located at 212 Mariners Way. The applicant wishes to allow for reduced front yard setback in the single housing dwelling zone. This is the variance request table. The applicant wishes to reduce the front yard from required 40 feet to proposed 30 feet. This is the location map identifying the subject property and illustrating the surrounding area. As you can see, the surroundings are mostly single family residential developments. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. The reduced front yard has been marked in orange for council's consideration. The intent of this variance application is to construct a single family home with a reduced front yard setback, and we did not receive any objections during the circulation. If the council wishes to approve this application, Red River Planning recommends 2 conditions. Number 1, this variance is limited to reduced front yard as proposed in this application. Any changes in use, additions, and or replacement may require any variance approval. Number 2, the applicant owner obtains all the required permits from Red River Planning District, the municipality, and MIT Water Review. Thank you. If the council has any questions, I can ask them.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Singh? All right, then. Suzanne, do we have a second sign-in sheet for the online participant?
No, the one that you have in front of you.
Great. That's Miss Lim, who's here.
No, it's at the bottom there.
Oh, gosh. Okay, got it. Thank you. Great. Okay. Okay. All right. So Ms. Lim, you're presenting on behalf of the applicant. All right.
Adjust this. There we go. Thank you, Council Administration. So my name is Jennifer Lim. I'm the owner and principal planner for Threshold Planning Studio. I was here tonight to present in support of the application on behalf of the owner of the property. The report really speaks for itself, so just thank you to the administration for that report. And if there's any questions Council has, I can definitely address those.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Ms. Lim? Great. Thank you, Ms. Lim. Did Mr. Gill online wish to speak? Excuse me.
Doesn't appear that he wants to unmute himself.
Okay, either that or is not present by the call. Okay,
Messaged him. We'll just give him a minute.
all right. If we continue with Zoom technology going forward, it might be a great idea to have people's phone numbers that we can text them to, because some public hearings are very long and they might wander away, from their computer, and a handy feature to have. Okay. All right,
Just going to suggest while we're waiting, and I guess we're not anymore.
we're not, we're moving.
Could we scroll back to what's called the site sketch? That's in our package. Could you put it on the screen? There, that one. I'm in support of this application, but I'd like to point out that, no, go back to this one, that the setback applied for at 30 feet is at the corner of the structure. You can see Mariner's Way curves away from the structure, so that's absolutely the minimum dimension of the front yard, correct? Yeah, okay.
All right, any other questions, council? We'll close the public hearing. Go ahead, please, Suzanne.
Be resolved that council close the public hearing of council for variation order 108-2022, 212 Mariners Way.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Parechko and Duval, all in favor? That's carried. The public hearing is closed, and now for the resolution, please.
Be resolved that variation order 108-2022 for 212 Mariners Way be approved, subject to the following conditions. This variance is limited to front yard variance as proposed in this application. Any changes in use, additions, and/or replacement may require a new variance approval. And 2, applicant owner obtains required permits from the Red River Planning District, the municipality, and water management.
Thank you. Can I get a mover, please? Postumus, Duval. Discussion? All in favor? And that's carried. Mr. Singh, I take it that extends your matters with us here tonight? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome to the neighborhood.
Oh, right, they moved it,
Right across the street.
yeah.
Right, Jennifer.
Good night, Jennifer.
Hey.
All right, the next item is under bylaws. It is Provincial Offences Act updates. This is regarding the added dog control items here. This is tonight for second and third reading. We already had first reading. Can I get the motion, please, put on the floor?
Be resolved that bylaw number 2022-15 being a bylaw of the Island of St. Paul to provide for implementation of the Provincial Offences Act begin the second reading.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Duval, I'm sorry, Parechko and Postumus. All in favor? And that's carried. And for third reading, please.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2022-15 being a bylaw of the Island of St. Paul to provide for implementation of the Provincial Offences Act be given third reading. And be it further resolved that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign the bylaw on behalf of the municipality.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder on this one, please? Devlin. Parechko, discussion? All in favor? And that's carried. We have 4 items under our schedule of accounts. And
Resolved that the schedule of accounts dated October 18th, 2022, amounting to $607 be confirmed as paid.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Duval, Postumus, discussion. All in favor? Carried.
Be resolved that the schedule of accounts paid since the September 13th, 2022 meeting of council amounting to $722,147.51 be confirmed as paid.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, Parechko, Devlin, discussion. All in favor? That's carried. Payroll,
Be resolved that the net payroll and council indemnities for the RMW St. Paul for September 16th, 2022 to October 18th, 2022 amounting to $263,208.70 be approved.
thank you. Moved by Postumus, seconded by Parechko, all in favor? And that's carried. The last item in finances is the statement of revenues and expenditures to September 30th.
Be it resolved that the statement of revenues and expenditures for the period ending September 30th, 2022 be approved.
Moved by Duval, seconded by Devlin, all in favor? And that's it. General business, we have 9.11. It is a development agreement for subdivision 2770 Sperring Avenue. Can I get a motion, please, to put this one on the floor?
Be it resolved that the development agreement between the RMW St. Paul and Burr Creek for subdivision 20-2863 be adopted. And be it further resolved that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the municipality.
Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Postumus and Duval. Any comments, questions on this development agreement? Hearing none, we have the motion on the floor. I'll call for the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Right, the next item is under general. It is the Community Safety Officer Program. Can I get the resolution, please?
Be it resolved that council authorizes administration to contact the province of Manitoba regarding the establishment of a community safety officer program in the RMW St. Paul.
Thank you. Can I get a mover, please? Devlin, seconder, Parechko. Any discussion? Call for the question. All in favor? And that is carried. Next item is under operations. It's the wastewater treatment expansion award of engineering services for the resolution, please.
Be resolved that the engineering services to update the design of the wastewater treatment plant upgrade to include a fourth sequential batch reactor be awarded to Dillon Consulting for a cost of $149,524 plus tax.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Duval and Parechko. Any discussion? Thank you, Dave, for updating the document to reflect that they did have a competitive process first time around. Hearing nothing else, we got the motion on the floor. Call for the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Right, tonight is council members' reports to Suzanne, but otherwise we have one in camera item to speak to. So if I can get the resolution, please, to go in camera.
Be resolved that council now move in camera as per section 153.
Sorry, not yet. I just want you to do that other thing for me when we take a vote. Thank you. Go ahead, Suzanne. Sorry for my interruption.
Be resolved that council now move in camera as per section 152(3) of the Municipal Act to discuss business development matters. And be it further resolved that all matters discussed while in camera are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)(d) of the Municipal Act.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder? Moved by Duval, seconded by Horechko. I'll call for the question and please keep your hand up a little longer this time. All in favor? Thank you. Posterity.
My glasses.
All right, we're now in camera. Right, we are back from in camera. The time is 7:45 and we have no resolutions coming out of in camera. And I ask for the resolution to adjourn, please.
The result that the meeting be adjourned, the time being 7:45 p.m.
Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder? Postumus, Duval. Any last words of the 2018 council? All in favor? That's carried.
That's a wrap.
Adjourned.
That's a wrap.